Hello, welcome to another NC Finance episode number 2. Today, we're going to talk about the subject of wants versus needs and lifestyle. Wants is something that you can live without, or something that you can still function relatively normal without it. Needs, on the other hand, is something you cannot live without, or something that your life will dramatically affect it in a very negative or inconvenient way without it. Everyone's wants and needs are different because we are not robots or copies of each other. What I think is absolutely necessary for me may not be the same for you. Other than the stuff that we learn in our elementary school by our teachers, such as food, oxygen, and water, are needs. Sure, those are needs, but that is elementary school, and we are talking in financial term here, and that is going to be a kind of a different wants and needs I'm talking about. So basically, since everybody's needs and wants are different, I think the more accurate word to describe this is simply lifestyle. And that is what really defines our wants and our needs. So, say if you want to live a frugal lifestyle, you can really turn a lot of the needs into wants. For example, someone may think they need a car to get to work, but really, do you really need a car to get to work? How about a bike to get to work? Sure, you might have to wake up an hour or two earlier to get ready and bike your way to work. And then maybe you have to bring your own clothes as well, so then you can change them so then you don't smell too stinky before you see your boss. So, a car really a need or is it not? I'll let you chew on that one because it's really depend on your own personal choice and how much you're willing to put up for an alternative choice. Another example that your lifestyle dictates what is a wants versus a needs is your option to choose to live with your parents or move out and enjoy freedom once you turn 18. Okay, that is assuming your parents aren't eager to kick you out of the house as soon as you turn 18. I know that a lot of people are desperate to move out so they can have their own place, run their own party, free binge drinking, binge Netflix, binge sleeping, whatever that you want to do when you have your own place. But that is simply a lifestyle choice, right? But this choice can really significantly affect your financial freedom in the future. Because imagine, for those of you who have been doing this, imagine living without rent, without utilities, without property tax, without grocery while earning a full income. Those of you who have been paying for all that would know how much relief it will be without those bills. So moving out, is that really a need? Maybe you reach a higher age, not necessarily at 18. You have to draw your own line and make the call there. So obviously with this example, we need to figure out what our wants and needs, but that is very subjective and different from person to person. So you're saying, basically I spoke for quite a while now and I really haven't provided you any tip to determine what is really a wants and what is really a needs. Well, you can put it this way. Since you are interested in listening to finance, I assume that you have a goal of, making enough money, making more money, or managing your money better. If you have that goal in mind, you can probably convince yourself that needs today can be wants today. And later in your life, you can obtain those wants when you're older and when you're richer. This is kind of a secret that no teacher will teach you at school, or you can find it in any textbooks. The key in determining wants and needs, financially speaking, is determined by the timeline of your age. So what I mean is if you're young, say you're under 30 years old, I just made up that number. It could be 25, but 30 sounds like a right number for me. It's kind of an average number right there. So when you're under that age, you shouldn't really sacrifice a nice lifestyle and live closer to a frugal lifestyle. What that means is drive a cheap car, staying with your parents if you can for as long as possible, limit dining out, and not a good idea to have children when you are like 22, when you can barely make an income and you already have to like support a baby. But sometimes I know that life you cannot really control everything and it's understandable, but there are still certain factors that we can control, right? So if you did end up, you know, having a kid at 22, that's not the end of the world. You can always find other ways to cut your expenses and may have to work extra hard to earn more money. But basically, you're bringing and basically your throughout your years, you have to live a frugal life when you're younger. Okay, but when you get a little older, say about 30 years old, you can start to relax a bit because at that point you would have been saving a lot of money for living such a frugal lifestyle with a decent size of retirement in your account, okay, in your retirement account. And you probably don't have a lot of payment because you probably have paid off all your debts by then, or any interest that's outstanding out there. So now it's really the time for you to kind of more relax and enjoy whatever that you've been wanting to do. So basically what I've been saying is the choice is yours. There's no shortcut in life and no free lunch or free dinner or even free money in this case. You have to sacrifice something to gain something else. Basically, you have two choices. One, you turn all the big needs into wants and live a frugal life in your younger years, and then you can live the rest of your life in financial freedom. Or two, you spend all your money and enjoy life while you are young and maximize your experience in your prime time, and then suffer the rest of your life paying up debts and interest. And I mean the rest of your life. I emphasize rest of your life, because very rarely you will see people can reverse back, since the interest rate just snowball that you cannot ever able to pay up the principal. That's why credit card company love these people. Borrow money for these young people to spend freely for maybe several years, and then they spend the rest of their working life like a slave, paying back the interest every single month. So take a moment and think about those two options and how you can subjectively convince yourself almost everything out there are really just wants. We don't really absolutely need a lot of things. So that is really the lesson about wants and needs. And I understand that this may not work for everybody. So say if you are already past your younger years and past that time, we can discuss about other ways you can save in the future topic. But I would like to end by sharing a little story about myself. So I was the person who chose choice number one. So when I was younger, I didn't dine out a lot. I never really gone shopping at the mall or online shopping. I stayed and lived with my parents for many years before buying my own house. And I drove this junk car with rust that looks like there's a bullet hole on the body for my college years. And then an old used car for another 10 years before I bought my first brand new car. I know people around my age who are still paying their student loan back in college, and I graduated like 15 years ago. That's why it's real. you can be paying your debt and interest rate for the rest of your life if you are not careful and smart about choosing choice number 2. So really, being frugal, living a frugal lifestyle, maybe in my 20s and maybe into my early 30s, those years have allowed me to save a lot of money that would pave my way to financial freedom much easier than other people. So let me know if you have any comments or questions in regarding to wants, needs, or lifestyle. I'll see you next time.